Pondering back with another video. Yo, please come in, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I go live or I do uploads. Yo, I had to come and do a video on this whole Sonya Massey situation. Yeah, I'm not sure if you know, but a lot of people know. So the body cam footage was released from July 6th, where this woman was heinously gunned down in her home by Sean Grayson, who was a deputy sheriff out in there in Springfield, Illinois. Yo, when I tell you this situation rocked me so hard, I couldn't even believe it. I seen it with my own eyes. First and foremost, I feel like Sean Grayson is a liar. He's a liar, and I just can't believe that this woman. If you watch the footage from the beginning to the end, let me just walk you through this. What happened with this lady? So she called the police because she called the police, or she called 911. She thought that somebody was trying to get in her home. When they was outside of her home, I'm like, damn, it looked kind of creepy out there. Ain't have no lights or anything like that. So maybe that's just the nature of her home. I don't know if she got scared or whatever, but that was the reason why she called the police. She was scared and she called the police. Now, they were in the home and they were asking her some questions. And, the family was saying that she dealt with schizophrenia, and you could clearly see that something was going on with her. It took her a few minutes to come to the door. They asked her what took her so long to come to the door, and she said that she had to get her clothes on and get ready or whatever, right? So she came to the door. They came in the house, and it looked like one of her rooms was in a disarray. They was like, going in, the body cam footage picked up one of the rooms. Looked like it was like scattered, like in a disarray, but her house wasn't bad or like dirty or anything. The room that was in the dark looked a little whatever, right? So they're speaking to her, and they're asking about some things about her property and stuff like that. The bottom line of the matter was they were about to get out of there. That white man, Deputy Sean Grayson, you knew that woman was not a threat. And you lied. Wait till I get to that part. You lied. I personally believe you lied. You lied. So listen, she's on the phone. I believe she called 911 back, and you could tell the disposition or the bedside manner, whatever you want to say about these people, was just off. She's like, hold on. She's telling him to hold on the phone, right? The guy's like, why? Why do you want me to hold on or whatever? Right? Like, what? That threw me for a loop also. And then the guy, what really rocked me is he asked her what her name was, right? Now, depending on what she was going through psychologically, she couldn't think of it, but her name, I think she did end up saying her name, like Massey, Sonya Massey or whatever, right? So they alerted her and let her know that something was on the stove. So before she went to the stove, he was like, we just need your name. First they asked her name. She didn't say her name immediately. So that made them question, I want to see ID. So not putting the blame on her, but isn't it sad that if she just said Sonya Massey or whatever, it's like they would have been gone, but that still doesn't justify that man leaving her just cold-blood murderer. That's how I feel about Sean Grayson. And then he had no remorse about what he did whatsoever. So listen, so she gets up, she goes over to, this is what I see. She goes over to the stove. She picks up the pot because there's boiling water, right? Now, to me, she's standing by the sink. This is where I said that he's a liar. He said that she was gonna throw the boiling water at him, right? What I heard her say was, "I rebuke you," right? And she was standing next to the sink. And he said, "I'll shoot your fucking head off," or whatever the case may be, right? He said, "I'll shoot your fucking head off." Now, listen, if a person has a pot and not a gun, this is what made me wonder, if this was a white woman, do you think that she would have been unalived in her home over a pot of boiling water? Right? That's not even, so listen. So that happened. So she's like, "I rebuke you." He was like, "I'll shoot your fucking head off." Right? I couldn't believe that he was talking to her like this over a pot of boiling water, right? So when he raised up and pulled for his pistol or whatever, then it caused the other police officer to also draw his gun as well, right? And I don't respect him either. It's just an unfortunate situation over a pot of boiling water. They didn't try any other, like, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. After he took the shots at her, she said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I don't know. Listen, I don't know if she was saying I'm sorry because if she was saying I'm sorry because she was apologizing for saying "I rebuke you," right? I think I heard some wordplay in there where he was trying to say, like, she was trying to throw the water on him. I don't have, and I didn't see that she was trying to throw the water on him. I seen that she went there to take it off of the stove because they mentioned something too when she was sitting on the couch. They mentioned something about it. So anyway, he shoots her, and then the guy is saying something about, like, oh, I want to go get the kid. And he was like, oh, it doesn't make any sense to go get it. Like, he just didn't care. Like, she was just on the floor, just bleeding out. He's like, it was a headshot, right? So that was crazy. And I want to tell you this: if you seen the body cam footage, didn't you hear the other officer that went outside, right? The other officer went outside and he was saying, fuck. He was so mad. He was mad at Grayson, right? So let me just read this article to you. Sonya Massey ducked and apologized to Illinois Sheriff's deputy seconds before he shot the woman 3 times in her home with one fatal shot blow to the head, as seen in a body camera video released on Monday. An Illinois grand jury indicted former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy John Grayson, 30, who is white, last week, and he also pleaded not guilty, right? He has pleaded not guilty to charges of first-degree murder and aggravated battery with a firearm and official misconduct. The video confirmed prosecutors' earlier account of the tense moment when Grayson yelled from across the counter at Massey to set down a pot of water. He then threatened to shoot her. Massey ducked briefly, rose, and Grayson fired a pistol at her. Authorities said Massey, 36, called 911 earlier in the day for a suspected prowler. So she called 911 and ended up getting unalived. That's crazy. For a suspected prowler. The video shows 2 deputies responded just before 1 a.m. on July 6 at her home in Springfield, 200 miles southwest of Chicago. They first walked around the house and found the black SUV with broken windows in the driveway. It took Massey 3 minutes to open the door because she said that she was getting dressed. She said, "Don't hurt me," to them. She seemed confused as they spoke at the door, and she repeated that she needed help, referenced God, and told them that she didn't know who owned the car. Inside the house, deputies seemed exasperated as they sat on her couch and went through her purse as they asked for identification to complete the report before leaving, asking her name. And then Grayson pointed out that a pot was sitting on a flame on the stove. "We don't need a fire while we're in here," he said. Massey immediately got up and went to the stove, moving the pot near the sink. This is what I said. I'm reading this from the Associated Press. Moving the pot near the sink. This man lied and said that she was trying to throw it at him. And then you know what's so crazy? When he gunned her down in the home, he said, "See, the water is coming near our feet." Yeah, because you shot her and she dropped the pot of water. You're a liar. You are a liar. So Massey immediately got up and went to the sink. She and Grayson seemed to share a laugh over her pan of steaming hot water before she unexpectedly said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." He said, "You better not, or I swear to God, I can shoot you in your face." He then pulled his 9mm pistol out and demanded that she drop the pot. Massey said, "Okay, I'm sorry." She was not threatening to throw that pot of water at him. In Grayson's body cam footage, he pointed the weapon at her. She ducked and raised her hands. Grayson, still in the living room facing Massey and separated by the counter dividing the living room and the kitchen. Prosecutors have said that the separation allowed Grayson both distance and relative cover from Massey in the pot of hot boiling water. Let him rot in jail. Let him rot. And I think that somebody should take his life. Because this was, and wait till I read to you what Tariq Nasheed shared after. So after Grayson shot her, Grayson discouraged his partner from grabbing a medical kit to save her. "You can go get it, but that's a headshot," he said. "There's nothing you can do, man." He added, and he act like he just took her life like a pack of Skittles on the shelf at the store, like it was just worthless. Like, that's it or whatever, right? And then when the other deputies got there, he was like, "The bitch was crazy." What? Yo, when I tell you, this situation infuriated me. And then to see her father and all her family up there, her father just had some sort of triple bypass surgery. Not even with that, but it's just like, it's horrible. This lady should still be alive. So nothing noting that Massey was still breathing, he relented and said that he could get a kid too. The other deputy said, "We can at least try to stop the bleeding." That other deputy was mad when he went out to that car. Grayson told responding police, "She had boiling water and came at me with boiling water. She said that she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came at me with the boiling water." During Monday afternoon's press conference, the family civil lawyer, Ben Crump, said the revisionist justification just ingenuous. "She needed a helping hand. She did not need a bullet in her face," Crump said of Massey. Asked why Massey told Grayson, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," Crump said he had undergone treatment she had undergone treatment for mental health issues. He noted that she invoked God's name from the beginning of the encounter. She did, and you can see that on the body cam footage. I'm gonna leave it in the description of this video. Make sure that you check it out. From the beginning of the interaction, she called upon God's name from her, and she asked for her Bible from the deputies, when they were standing right there. So during Massey's funeral on Friday, Crump said that the video in which the family had already viewed would shock the conscience of America. Massey's father, James Wilburn, demanded that the county court system be completely open with the investigation and prosecution and transparent with the public. The only time I will see my baby again is when I leave this world, Wilburn said. And I don't ever want anybody else in the United States to join that league. Grayson, who was fired last week, is being held in the Sangamon County Jail without bond. If convicted, he faces sentences of 45 years to life for murder, 6 to 30 years for battery, and 2 to 5 years for misconduct. Let me read that again. If convicted, he faces 45 years to life for murder, 6 to 30 years for battery, and 2 to 5 years for misconduct. His lawyer, Daniel Foltz, declined to comment on Monday. In the statement President Joe Biden he responded as well. President Joe Biden and Jill Biden said that they were praying for the Massey family as they face this unthinkable, senseless loss. When we call for help, all of us Americans, regardless of who we are and where we live, should be able to do so without the fear of losing our lives, Biden said. Sonya's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in many ways. Many of the rest of us do not. And that is very true. And that made me think earlier when I was thinking about this whole situation. I always wonder why, and I'm not perfect or anything, but I wonder why when certain Black people get pulled over by the police or when they have any type of interactions with the police where they go crazy and they start ticking, right? Because it's stories like this. I'm telling you, this story right here is going to make somebody have an unpleasant and have them wow out when the police, and who knows if it's going to trigger them to act like that. All police officers do not conduct themselves this way, but it made a light bulb go off to me today to be like, I wonder if this, especially in most recent years, is this the reason why people are ticking when it comes to police interaction? Because they don't know if they're going to make it out alive. Now, listen, I want to read this about Sean Grayson. I got this from the page of Tariq Nasheed on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. He always posts a lot of different things. So Tariq Nasheed posted a picture of Grayson in his mugshot, and it says suspected white supremacist race soldier Sean Grayson, who racially executed Sonya Massey, has the token cove tattoos on his arm. And if you go to his page, or I might post a picture of it on here. He has the token cove tattoos on his arm, and these symbolisms are also associated with neo-Nazi white supremacist groups. So he took her life, and that's why she was a bitch. That's why he referred to her as a crazy bitch when he took her life. This situation was sad. She called for help. You could tell that they were short with her too, and you could clearly tell that she was going through something psychologically, and he just took her life like a pack of Skittles off the shelf. And I often use that reference when I talk about Black people who also take other Black people's life, when they just figure that you could just take somebody's life so easily. The woman had a pot of boiling water. Why didn't you use the taser? She wasn't even going to throw the water at you. You used that as an excuse because you knew that other body cam was going. And you tried to see, the water is up to our feet. You're a liar. You're a liar. Grayson is a liar, and I hope that he rots in hell. I hope he rots in prison, in jail, or whatever, right? So listen, this whole situation just really, really, really rocked me. It rocked me, and I can't imagine calling for 911 for help, and you end up being unalived. This is crazy. So listen, please get in the comments. I wanted to come and do a video on this. I don't care. I typically do different topics. I don't care how many views this video gets. I had to get this off my spirit. I wonder if this is the reason why people like Sandra Bland or different people who have interactions with the police, and they just kind of they lose it, or they have a certain sense of, of anger and frustration, or they're scared. You know what I mean? Imagine, I want you to watch that body cam footage. I'm going to leave it in the link in the video description. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it, but imagine they asked her name, and they like, oh, we just need your name and we're going to leave, or we need your ID and we're going to leave. And then really, he tried to make it seem like she was going to throw that boiling pot of water, and she was standing by the sink. Lock his ass in the jail. Honestly, I think that he should get. I don't know what the rules are in Illinois. But I think he need a death penalty. I think that his family needs to feel the same. His family needs to feel the same. I'm gonna take that picture that I mentioned from Tariq Nasheed. Look at him. You could tell that he don't like black people. The way that you just, if that was a white woman, she would never be unalived in the now right now. She had a boiling hot hot pot of water. She would still be alive. Listen, Potent Pondering, please support the channel. The Cash App is in the description of the video as well. Get in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this whole matter. I'm trying to knock some videos out because I got to go to New York to visit my mom for a few weeks. So yeah, man, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. Potent Pondering. I'm up out of here. Peace.